Today we've got a emulation plug and play console to take a look at that consists of a lot of higher end systems instead of like your typical 8 and 16-bit stuff. We're not going to have a system here that plays like Atari 2600, NES, Super Nintendo, nothing like that. This is like PlayStation 2, GameCube, things of that nature. We'll get a little deeper into that in a moment here, but I've looked at a lot of plug and play systems. Plenty of companies have sent stuff like this to me, but I don't think I've had anybody send me one that is Raspberry Pi based. I've had plenty like Android based systems, PC stuff, things like that. But yeah, this is based off the Raspberry Pi 5. It is the GameTower R5. I do believe there is a little card in here. Thank you for your support. This was sent to me for purpose of review from Movan Shop from this guy Johnny here. And that's one thing. Whenever I review a console like this, I always say or drive or anything, you could do it yourself. You don't have to buy something like this. But for some people, it does turn into I don't have time for that. There's a convenience factor in paying somebody else for it. But here we are. So I did look at some of the stuff that this individual was doing. And I do like that they have this manual. And all the consoles that he includes on this system, looks like he's gone through and tested everything to make sure every game runs, because it is very easy to set up a Raspberry Pi console and just dump a buttload of ROMs on there and just pray that everything works. And you could just randomly start selecting games and they'll probably run. But if you're hoping everything runs, most likely it won't. And then certain consoles won't run at all. But yeah, okay, this bundle got the power supply, got a couple Xbox 360 style, I believe, wireless controllers. So that's what we're gonna do here. We got a couple of those. I'm not gonna open both of them. A little HDMI cable and some batteries. I believe it's just a little dongle action. But yeah, you even put my channel name on there, a little 3D printed case. I believe it glows up here. I'll show that. But yeah, some ventilation all around. Nice looking case. But yeah, it's Raspberry Pi. Plug this thing in. There's batteries in there. And check it out. Okay, so the GameTower Pro. I've been playing around with this thing. I've got some thoughts, man. And the first thing, I did go to the website to double check what the price is. And I do have to say, yes, this thing is expensive, man. Just straight up. Would I buy? I wouldn't buy any of these things that I review as far as emulation consoles, because I could do it myself. But there's no hate. Some people do buy these things because of the convenience factor. That's just the way it goes. I understand that. So it's no hate. You come here to check it out and see if it's worth it, right? And I will give you guys my opinions on how the things are set up, the builds and whatnot. This thing's a little pricey. You're paying for the convenience of it being pre-set up and ready to go. This guy sells them with these Xbox controllers. My first thoughts with these 360 controllers, getting them in my hands, was wow, these things are great. They feel like old school 360 controllers. They really feel good. And for the most part, they are a thumbs up until I get into a fighting game and I want to use the D-pad. And then I realize it doesn't even have to be a fighting game. It could just be any game. The second I want to go into a diagonal, the diagonals do not work on the D-pad. They don't work at all. So does it make the controller garbage? Almost. If you want to have reliable diagonals, the diagonals don't work. It's not that they're unreliable, it's just they don't work. So this controller, initially I was going to give it a thumbs up, gets thumbs down. Whatever. Now, as far as this build goes, there's only 1,462 games. That's because it's not fluffed up. Like I said earlier, it's not fluffed up. I'm going to just go through the list of stuff. You know what I mean? May as well. I'm not going to go through everything and name everything, but we have 3DO. Everything's scraped. You got all the metadata. the box arts, videos will play. You just have the Carbon, the basic theme for RetroPie. That's just a RetroPie build. It's not Batacera or RetroBat or anything like that. Everything's clean with this, but there's nothing, no custom theme going on here. No extra themes downloaded either. So as far as the effort of putting this together, the effort, I guess, is testing these games and making sure they run. But with that said, I can't test all 1,400 and some odd games, but I did find a few that didn't work. To be honest with you, I did play quite a few games, and maybe they're games that you wouldn't even care about. Arcade, I think it's just like mostly light gun games listed in here. Yeah, for the most part. But like Jaguar, I really wanted to play White Men Can't Jump, but that game doesn't boot up at all. It wouldn't boot up for me at all. But I played a few other games here in Jaguar, and they worked just fine. So, yeah, I mean, there's might be a couple things here and there for the, in my opinion, for the price that's being charged and for the amount of games here. They're all like, it's bigger systems. So, yeah, you can't include like tons of stuff. It's a 1 terabyte build. So there's PS2, Wii on here, like, as an example, GameCube. Like those take up a lot of space. That's why it has to be a 1 terabyte build. So it's not going to be fluffed up. But with the limited amount of games, you got to test everything. Got to test everything, especially, you know, charging the prices that people charge for stuff like this. If you're going to expect people to play it, I don't know why some of these games have issues. Others. There's games that don't have music, like in Sharp X68000 I found. Dreamcast, everything here. Like everything on this build, if it boots, it runs fine for the most part. There was like PSP stuff that had stuttering, like I'll talk about it when we get there. But Dreamcast, you're not going to have any issue. Dreamcast has ran on all the Raspberry Pis for ages now. I remember back in the day with like the Pi 3, and you'd do videos on it, and people would be like, can it run GameCube? Can it run PS2? I was like, no, dude. The Raspberry Pi will never run that stuff. Never. Now it does. Now it does. But back then, people would always like, I wanted to run PS2 and GameCube. That was like the biggest thing. And GameTower, yeah, it's like some custom scripts here. A little RGB lighting and more options. Clear last played and show temperature and disk space. I'm not going to go into any of that. GameCube. If you wait a second, it will show you how many games are in each category. GameCube 187. Oh yeah, Simpsons, Hit and Run, Road Rage, fun games, man, fun games. But a lot of GameCube stuff here. A lot. Mario Sunshine, Smash. A lot of good stuff. And everything's cleanly scraped. You're not running it into like where it's not uniform or it's ugly looking. You know what I mean? Everything's clean here, as I would expect, with not even 2,000 games. So yeah. So there's that. Light gun games, you could use the Wiimote with the dolphin bar or whatever, you know, whole setup, you know, get that going. But there's tons of light gun games here. A lot of cool stuff. Moving on, Nintendo 64, it's a lower end thing, but it's still nice to have it here. You know, these games are all going to run fine for the, you know, most part. I don't think there's going to be issues here, you know, with Pi 5 nowadays. Back in the day, we would have a lot of issues, but now, for the most part, we're good. How many games is there? Like 248. So not quite the full US library, but there is quite a few games here. Quite a few games. Scrolling through as many of them as I can to give you an idea of what there is. Got all the Zelda action there. Some Mario parties. Mario Kart. There you go. PS2. Quite a few games here. 137, right? Metal Slug Japan. I've never seen that before, and I played it. It ran fine. Like, I was surprised. All these PS2 games, I played quite a few of them, and they all ran fine. Every single one of them, I had no issue. I think what else did I play? I played God of War. Perfect. Like, no issues, man. Surprising to see all that. Quite a few PS2 games here. And like I said, I can't test everything. But it is very interesting and cool to see this stuff. It's not often, like with these Pi builds or these setups, you don't usually see all these higher end things, especially on the Raspberry Pi 5. But, you know, build like this, pretty cool. But yeah, God of War, all that good stuff. Moving on. PSP, I did play that Lunar game. Yeah, Silver Star Harmony. Because I was like, I never played that, man. Never played it. Let me check it out. And I did get into the, just that beginning battle. And it was like stuttering, dude. Stuttering Stanley action. It was not good, man. Like, I wouldn't want to play it. Just the way it was running. I mean, it was playable. But for me, if it's not perfect, it's not playable. So I don't want to play it. But yeah, other stuff like me and Mike Katamari and all that, a lot of stuff's going to run fine on PSP. It's just certain things. I'm sure that Lunar game probably clears up later on. PS1, 16 games. Just, I think just light gun games. Yeah. It's just there to fill out the light gun game category. Sega Saturn, cool to see as well. Golden Axe the Duel, I played that one. And a few others. Nice to see, not just 2D games. All the 3D stuff is running. But a lot of good stuff there. Nights into Dreams, fun one. Did we have Panzer Dragoon? Yeah, we did. And the multi-discs are not listed like separately, so we got all that. And then Wii. Very cool to see Wii. How many games? 107. A little disappointed, like Tatsunoko ran perfect, dude. A little disappointed to not see Castlevania Rebirth, but then I saw like Contra Rebirth. I was like, come on, dude. Like, I'd rather have Castlevania Rebirth up on here, but that's cool. But yeah, these games were running pretty well, like everything that I tested anyway. So that's awesome, seeing some Wii action on here. Like, you could tell the guy went through and checked a lot of things. Just a few little things may have slipped through, I guess. Just a few things. I just randomly stumbled across them, Akumaju, Dracula, Castlevania. There's no music. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be music in this version of the game. Like, there's music playing in the Snap. I don't know. I have to double check. But yeah, I mean, there was just no music in that. I don't know. But yeah, that's it, man. It's a small build, a very expensive setup. To me, I wish this controller was better. This D-pad, man, the diagonals just don't work. They don't work at all. If the diagonals work, this controller would be amazing. I would actually want these for other reasons, but they don't. The diagonals don't work. The controllers are a waste. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in this build, you could check his website out. He sells other setups too. They're cheaper ones, and then this thing's quite, kind of expensive. I'm just here to show you. You know what I mean? There you go. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.